Matthew. He sang in a melodious voice. Every day to school, Matthew would travel with a Maxi Taxi. And in the Maxi Taxi, Matthew would sing and he would have a good time. But the driver, Mr. Warner, would always warn Matthew, Matthew, pipe down, please, you are disturbing the other passengers. Matthew would get sad and he would sit just looking out the window, thinking, oh my gosh, I wish I could sing. I wish everyone would understand that I love singing. The driver would always say, Matthew, I would put you out. Mr. Warner would shout at Matthew. When Matthew got home that evening, he said to his parents, Dad, why don't you buy a Maxi Taxi? I think you should buy a car. Every time I am singing, I always disturb others. His dad said, time and place for everything, son. There's a time and place. You know what? I think you should listen to your elders as well. Yes, Matthew, there will be a time where you can sing and do everything. Matthew even had trouble at school. Yes, with his teachers and his friends. Would you believe when Matthew was at school, he would sing. Yes, Matthew would sing. One day, during a math test, Matthew began singing and shouting. And his teacher got angry and they put him out. They said, Matthew, we are going to call in your parents. And you know what? They gave him detention. Yes, Matthew got detention. Oh my, his parents were a bit embarrassed that Matthew was singing and dancing in class. When they got home that night, they sat him down. They said, Matthew, time and place for everything, son. One day, you will be able to sing in front of a whole huge crowd. Matthew felt sad. He knew that there was a melody in his head. He needed to get that melody out. So when Matthew took the taxi the next day, Mr. Warner looked at him sternly and he said, young man, no singing and dancing today. But Matthew sat next to someone who looked very, very sad and he began humming softly. Quietly, Matthew began humming. And you know what? The lady next to him started humming too. All the other passengers looked at Mr. Warner and Mr. Warner looked at Matthew in the rearview mirror. And Matthew began singing more and more. And even the other passengers this time, they joined in and started singing. Would you believe the man at the fruit stall, he even threw in some fruits. And the nuts vendor, he said, hey, that's some lovely singing taking place in the Maxi. Oh yes, everyone was singing. And every time they stopped, people would try to squeeze in into that Maxi and begin singing as well. So while they were on the bus route, as they stopped, others jumped in. Finally, they were at City Gate and everyone heard all the singing and the dancing. They were totally excited. So they stood there and they were singing and dancing. Would you believe even the president heard? And in her office, she sat and she started singing as well. That day, all the schools shut down. People did not even go to work. They were happy. They were excited until nighttime. And well, they felt tired. A man with a steel pan passed and he started to play. Oh Lord, Matthew kept singing, I love my country, we love this world, I love my auntie. Yes, Matthew sang and he enjoyed himself. Matthew had a good time singing. From that day on, Matthew was actually getting a lot of jobs. Mr. Warner said, Matthew, come let me take you home. And he told his parents all about what Matthew did. Yes, and they were so extremely proud of their son. And would you believe that night on the television, yes, the whole thing was aired. Oh my gosh, Matthew felt so happy. He was excited. And the greatest part, Mr. Warner changed the name of his Maxi to the love the music Maxi. Matthew was just an excellent little boy following his dreams.